If you haven't subscribed to Not These Two Fucking Guys podcast, then you need to run full speed, backwards, pants down through a cornfield. I'm Rock.
And I'm Archie. Well, our opinions, they might not matter to some, but...
What are you doing in there?
It's a podcast.
Immature, crass, trashy. And those are their good qualities. These poor schmucks are a couple of IQ points away from eating paste. But when it comes to music, sports, and comedy, well, that's all they know. You're listening to
Not These Two Fucking Guys.
Not These Two Fucking Guys podcast.
Yo, so something that interests you a lot, Arch, is the world of professional wrestling.
Here we go.
Well, I'm going to say it's wrestling and potentially mixed martial arts.
Okay, I'm all ears. Go.
You're all tits, kind of. I mean, but go ahead. Anyway, so apparently WWE has taken all of Brock Lesnar's merchandise off of their website.
Because?
Apparently, my man Brock is a free agent.
Ooh, okay.
May not have signed a deal with WWE, right?
Gotcha.
And the deals he has them are always kind of like you don't know when they're up and you don't know when they're signed, that kind of deal. But there's heavy rumors in the mixed martial arts world that Brock may be coming back for one more fight.
Real fighting.
Well, wrestling's real too. What are you talking about? I don't understand what you're saying.
Sorry, I blacked out. Go.
Okay. So he may be coming back for one more fight.
Okay.
That could be with the UFC. It could also mean he's going to Bellator fighting.
Okay.
Which is pretty intriguing. If he goes to UFC, I don't know who they're going to put him up against. You know, John Jones, who is the greatest light heavyweight of all time.
Very bad tweeter. Can't tweet.
Yeah, can't tweet. Great. Can fight, can't tweet. You're the opposite. Tweet like a motherfucker, can't fight. He relinquished his light heavyweight title and moved up to heavyweight.
Okay.
Brock fights at heavyweight. He called Brock out. He called the champ Stipe Miocic out and called Brock out. So Brock versus John Jones would be a huge money fight, right? John Jones heavyweight fight. Brock coming back. Now Brock is 43 years old.
I was just gonna ask you, how old is he?
He's old.
Yeah.
For combat sports.
Yeah, I fucking think so.
Now, Brock can come back for a fight in UFC, right? Is he going to make a title run? Nah, I don't think so, right?
Okay.
He's of a certain age, and some of those guys in the division there, you know, coming in heavyweight are killers. So I don't know if he'd fare well. Now, conversely, if he goes to Bellator, there's a chance he could have a run at a title, because I want to say that, and no disrespect to those fighters, the heavyweight division in UFC is the depth in it and the youth in it is, I believe, in my opinion, greater than in Bellator.
Okay, understandable.
Now, there's also a high-profile fight he could have in Bellator with who many call the greatest heavyweight of all time, Fedor Emelianenko. That would do crazy business. Now, this could all just be...
Chutes and ladders.
Yeah, it could be all bullshit hyped up by the media that, listen, Brock may not be a free agent, right?
Yeah.
Or if he is, he kind of usually leverages MMA, namely UFC in the past, companies to get a better deal from WWE.
Okay. Well, I'm going to say, since Brock Lesnar is no longer under contract with the WWE, I say he's got a big, what do the kids call it? Ego, that he is going to fight again in the UFC just to see if he still got it. Just like, you know, to see if the kid still got it.
Listen, I personally think he will, because it's when Brock was younger in UFC, he hated the traveling. He hated the fucking time away from his family, right? So when he came back now, years later, he has a truncated schedule, only makes a certain amount of appearances a year. UFC, he might be able to make that same money in one night, you know, for one night's worth of work.
Wow.
And listen, he's still in tremendous shape. He's still an elite athlete, even at the age of 43 years old, I believe he is.
Seasoned fighter.
Seasoned, yep.
I think he could throw a punch.
Yeah. Depending on who the matchup is, it's I think it's good business for him. Now, does he want to go through a training camp? I think he'll have one more fight. Do I think it'll be one and done? Yeah, I do. because I feel like at this stage of the game with where he is in his life, and he kind of calls his own shots, and kudos to him. He set himself up to be that way, right? To be able to call his own shots. I don't think he's going to want to go through multiple training camps and multiple.
Yeah. Who the fuck would want to?
At this stage of the game, as decorated as a competitor as he is, and as much money as he's earned in the business, why would you want to?
Correct.
So keep you all posted on that.
We always like Brock on the show, right?
I love Brock Lesnar, yeah.
And we hope the best for him, and we hope that he goes back and he knocks some fucking teeth down somebody's throat. What?
What's up, dude?
All right, bro. This is a we're gonna call this "What a Day, My Friend." This is a good day.
It is. It is a good day.
This man right here is the backbone of one of the best hard rock bands to date. He is absolutely brutal behind the skins, and you can watch him put his own flavor to cover songs on his YouTube channel. Or you can listen to his new podcast called Robbcast Podcast.
Yes.
Ladies and gents, Robb Rivera of Nonpoint.
Hey, what's up?
What's up, dude?
Doing good. Doing good.
I just want to say thanks so much for coming on. This is an honor for Rocco and myself. We appreciate it.
I appreciate you having me, man.
Great. First off, we'd like to ask, how are you and the family during these shitty times?
Well, as best as we can, taking it day by day. There's a little bit more freedom here, in Illinois. We can go to restaurants and do stuff, but I would try to keep my distance from people, and I was really sick in March, so I think maybe I had the COVID. I'm not 100% sure. I mean, I was down for 2 weeks, pretty bad, and had fever. I was coughing, had shortness of breath one night, but I didn't qualify enough to get a COVID test.
Okay. Oh wow.
But I do believe. I mean, I'm hoping that I already got it, to be honest, but I do believe that I probably had mild symptoms of COVID, but I'm not 100% sure because I never really got the test and I haven't done the antibodies test. But as far as everything else, man, just taking it day by day, the guys in the band, we're still in incredible spirits despite the hard times, not being able to really do much. We've been able to do a couple campaigns and still keep engaged. I like you said, I've started a YouTube channel and released 2 covers so far and going to do some more. The podcast has kept me busy, but it's really cool, man. I've been able to keep busy, despite, what's going on. It's terrible. And I don't know when this is going to end, hopefully soon.
Yeah.
But we shall see.
Good. No, that's awesome.
We appreciate you coming on today. I know that where you're at, you have no power for a couple of days now. So
yeah, since Monday, since 4 p.m., 9 tornadoes hit down in Illinois, and it's weird because that storm just lasted maybe 10 minutes, but it took out the power. But we saw some power trucks today on our street, which is weird. We are the only street in the neighborhood. Sorry, that has no power. And
look at you, lucky enough.
Yeah. So, but I called the electric company, and they moved up the estimates tomorrow at 11 p.m. It's supposed to be Saturday at 3. So now it's tomorrow 11 p.m. So keeping my fingers crossed that it comes maybe tonight. So we shall see.
Now, obviously, this is for the people out there. This is just audio. But Rocco, did you check out his COVID mask in the beginning before we started?
Yeah, fucking New York Yankees, man. Hell yeah, love it.
My favorite team of all time.
That's fantastic. Same here.
Which are doing really well right now. So
yeah,
despite Stanton and Judge, I keep getting hurt every year. So
they're I tell you, man, I feel like Stanton and Judge are too physically fit that they get hurt too easily. They're too brittle.
Yeah, McGuire and Canseco were the Fast brothers.
Yep.
So I call these guys the Glass brothers. Because they're always breaking down.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, I think Judge's lower back or something like that.
Yeah, but he's got the lead in home runs. He's killing it. And we brought up Clint Frazier, who hit a home run in his debut last night. Got 3 hits last night, actually.
Yeah, he was. Clint Frazier was a triple short of the cycle last night, which is pretty good.
Yeah. So I'm hoping they keep him, man. They've kind of played around with him a little bit too much, bringing him up, sending him down, bringing him up, sending him down. So I'm hoping that they keep him. He's really and truly an amazing bat in the lineup.
He is, and I feel like he has a huge chip on his shoulder because they keep on. Listen, he's getting his time now, so God bless him.
Yeah, definitely.
I want to start this interview off with saying, Rocco and I have been lifelong friends, so we've been going to Ozfest since it pretty much started. So about 2001, Ozfest, Camden, New Jersey. Rocco
Was
and
that was that the last show of the tour?
I believe so. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
It wasn't that. It was fucking.
I do remember it ended in Jersey.
I'm sorry. The other one.
It's in, I think, Middletown,
Homedale, New Jersey. The PNC.
Okay.
That one.
Yeah.
So we walked back to our cars, and I guess, like some of record companies or whatever, they leave baggies on your cars and shit. I get an Ozfest Streetwise summer sampler.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna dig it.
Love Streetwise.
I'll dig it. One of the songs on there, What a Day. I went, okay, let's give it a try. Ever since then, I've been a Non-Point fan.
You know what? And still that song resonates to this day. We play that song and people go nuts. It's like, it's 22 years, I think I want to say.
Yeah.
Well, 20 years. This year is actually this October 10th is the 20th anniversary of State.
Wow.
And which we have something very cool planned. So I'm hoping that we can announce that very soon. But yeah, still to this day, people sing the hell out of that song, dude. It's crazy.
Yeah, I'll tell you, Archie is the one who put me onto it. I always rely on go out there and find me new music that I would, like seek out, but I haven't seeked out. And like when he's like, "Yo, we and probably like what, like
2001.
We had the Jersey Shore, like an hour ride down there, and when you put the fucking album on, I'm like, whoa, okay, I'm like, this is different. This is like, it was like right up our alley, I mean, just from
you're breaking up a little bit, Rock.
Am I?
You keep cutting out a little bit.
Stay close to the mic.
Right.
Jerk off.
Can you hear me? Am I good now or no?
Well, you're never good, but you're better.
All right.
But to say, yes, that Ozfest Streetwise Sampler, it turned me on. That song, fucking, it was just something. I guess a lot had to do with Elias's voice. That I'm like, who is this guy? And then fell in love with the band.
Yeah, Elias is definitely a unique person when it comes to singing. Like, still to this day, he's got an incredibly strong voice. Like it's amazing that how he's stayed consistent over the years.
And funny enough, Rocco and I, we mentioned a lot on the podcast that we're in a local band, but we had we opened up for you guys at Starland Ballroom, the last show that you played.
Is that with POD?
Butcher Babies?
Butcher Babies, because I don't know if we went there with POD, but I remember playing there with Butcher Babies. Yeah.
So when we walked in, you guys were doing a sound check, and I was like, here they are. Nice. You could just feel it, bro. Nobody's even in the club, and you could just feel it.
Yeah, it's fun, man. I love playing music. I mean, the fact we've been able to call this a career still here in 2020. If you'd have told me in 2000, that's when we released Statement, that in 2020, I'd still be doing interviews about Non-Point, I'd say you're crazy, So we've been in the band since 97, so it's like 22 years, 23 years now, I think. And but 20 years professionally, we started locally in 7. Yeah. But it's amazing. 23 years here, Elias, we're still standing here, and enduring. Not to no pun intended with the song, because we endure, and like we said, we're still alive and kicking, So, yes. But it's been amazing that people still come up to us and tell us, always like yourself, tell us these stories about what we've done for them and how they've been a fan since the beginning. It's like a song like What a Day, it sounds like Bullet, or even Chaos and Earthquakes. It's one of the newest tracks that have really huge impacts on people. And I'm just blessed, man, that we've been able to do this, for sure.
I mean, it's gotta feel good. Obviously, you're a founding member, and this is something that you've cultivated, for, over 20 years. That you still do. You still love it. I mean, that's gotta be the ultimate passion.
Breaking up. You're breaking up there. Breaking up. Picking up.
Fuck.
You're not allowed to talk anymore.
Yeah, it's me. Is this sound any better or no?
Yeah, put that right up to your mouth, dude.
That's not the first time you heard that.
What I was saying is it's got to be awesome knowing that you're a founding member over 20 years, cultivating the sound that you have and still doing it today and still loving it. And that's got to be the ultimate rush for you.
It's very. I mean, it's a challenge. I mean, we've got 10 records under our belt, and then like 2 local CDs and a live CD. And it's hard, and not hard, but it's a challenge to like, what do we do next? Like, what do we talk about now? You know, Elias, I'm sure, like after all these years, like the endless amount of subjects that he has got to pick from.
Oh God.
Sing. Like he's got probably one of the hardest jobs in the band because I can play the same beat to a different riff. I can play the same beat to a different riff. He's got to write different lyrics, different melodies. And so I give it to him. He works his ass off writing those melodies, and he comes up with some of the best flow. He's got some of the best flow in the rap game, I would say. He's one of the best rappers I know.
Oh, fuck.
And he can sing and he can scream. He's got all the tools and he's an incredible front man. So like I am so lucky to have that dude in my band, and he's a hardworking guy. Sometimes he works a little too hard. Like I always tell him, you need to take it easy, man. But he loves what he does. He's got passion behind, every single thing that he does. It comes from a passionate heart, and he is just a hardworking dude, man. I love that dude. He's my brother. We fight like brothers. We're family, but, and the thing is, we're 2 very different people, and so I always tell everybody when it comes to the business of Non-Point, we're like, right here, eye to eye. We see eye to eye with pretty much 95% of the stuff, and then the other 5 we just compromise. Not every idea that everybody has you're gonna like, but it's very hard for him to come up with an idea that I don't like. He's always on this game, so it's
funny you say that because I know when writing new music, sometimes you can wonder like if everyone in the band is gonna dig what your vision is for the song or the melody might be, like how is the writing process in Non-Point, and who usually takes charge of the reins and reins people in? And
I mean, it depends. I mean, it can come from a drum beat, it can come from a vocal line, a guitar riff. It depends on who starts it. And then everybody adds we don't usually send finished songs. We just send riffs. And Elias likes to construct them. Like he puts it together. And then we say yay or nay. We'll say, let's do this 4 more times, cut this one by 2, or stuff like that. It really depends on who brings a song in. I can bring in a beat. I mean, I play guitar as well, so I contribute riffs, every now and then. When I play bass, I can write a bass line as well. But it really, the guitar players really send the music first. Then Elias will mess around with it, and they'll send it with an idea of drums that they had, and then I'll just put my spin on it. Yeah. Or they send it with no drums, and then I just start at home programming stuff. Or I have an electronic kit that I play. The really cool modules, Pro Mimic Pro that I have, so I just it depends on who brings what to the table first. But usually it'll start with a guitar riff most of the time.
Gotcha.
Archie and I first heard you 2000, 2001. We're from, we're metalheads at heart, but we grew up in a town where like we loved rap too. Like we loved rap growing up. And so like when we heard Tribute, we're like, yes, holy shit. These guys, like, is this like specifically for like what we want? It was phenomenal. And so what was the inspiration for that? I mean, is that like what you guys were into?
Well, I mean, we're fans of Wu-Tang Clan, and Elias is a huge hip hop fan. So it was, that was written with the original lineup of Andy, Ken, Elias, and myself. We're all hip hop fans. So we just decided to put this. It was one of the easiest things we were able to put together. We've been trying to do a tribute to, and we've not been able to capture that magic in a while. And so that putting that one together, though, was so easy. It started with Children's Story, which I can't remember who's the guy that sings it.
Slick Rick.
Slick Rick, and then it went to Busta Rhymes, and then Method Man, his version of Method Man that was originally on the Wu-Tang Clan 36 Chambers, but he did we did the remix portion of it. And it was real easy, man. And then we put a little part of our own in there. And it's really cool. We played it every night on the original Separate Yourself tour headlining in 2001. And Graham from Darwin's Waiting Room was on the track.
Yeah.
And he came out and did it with us live. But originally that song was done with a guy named Mike Becker who used to play percussion for us way back in the day. And then we actually been thinking about jamming that song again. We haven't done it in a while. And so Rashid, who's also a rapper, he's a little side hip hop band called The Chosen Few, and he's going to rap along with Elias if we ever do it. So he's going to do great. He's going to do Graham's part.
That's awesome.
That's fucking great.
At the end in the Method Man part, when you're so I'm a singer. I know that drummers and singers say, "Hey, we're doing a song. Do a da 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 da."
You're breaking up again.
He sucks.
Hey,
Rob, just nod your head and say, "Yo, no doubt."
Yeah, no doubt, brother. No doubt.
is it better now?
Yeah,
Sometimes.
you got to keep that mouth.
Damn it! Gotta keep my mouth working. On the end of the Method Man part, when you're just fucking slamming the fucking dun 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 dun, dude. I mean, like that fucking like you feel the intensity. Like that had to just be a thrill.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Like when he did the METHOD, I said, well, let me accent that.
Yeah,
and then when we did it, we're like, oh, dude, this sounds cool.
Speaking of Elias, is like your relationship. Like, do you have like an unspoken connection that drummers and singers have? Like, if both of you are jamming like some new material, you're like, all right, I want the beat maybe to change here. Yo, I know he's gonna go faster here. I feel it here. Like, after all these years, do you have like some sort of connection?
Well, it's weird because when we write songs and then I lay down drums, as soon as he laid down some vocals, before we record, I get a lot of ideas right off of his voice. I do a lot of accents with it. Okay. I write drum parts to his vocals. Nice. So, and he pretty much knows everything I'm going to do. I know everything he's going to do. Yeah. So we do have that connection, but I write better, like, when we recorded X, we had the vocals in with the rough tracks. So I played along with the vocals. So it's like, okay, I'm jamming with the whole band. It wasn't just in a guitar track or guitar scratch, whatever you want to call it. I want to have the entire band in there and then record because I get more into it. I find more ideas. Just like when I did these covers of Stevie Wonder and Lil Nas X, I was able to bring my flavor because I'm listening. It's like I'm playing with Stevie Wonder. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's what it feels like because you have the whole band in there, except that I found a drumless version on YouTube. I said, okay, dude, I can play to this. So we put it up on YouTube, put it down to the click. So I said, I'm jamming with Stevie Wonder. It's like I felt like I was actually playing a song with him, So that's what I like listening to Elias sing when I'm recording, the guitar, the drums. Sorry, because I get so many ideas from him. I do so many accents. When he goes, one down, I'll go, bah, bah, bah. I do that kind of stuff. And yeah, we definitely have a connection when it comes to writing music together.
And which in turn, as a big rock fan, when you see a band like yours live, it's just so much more powerful. Like when you add accents like that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like in that part in Bullet Cars, Money, Thing, James. Before that, I was just doing a beat. Then I went, oh wait, let me stop it. Dun, 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 dun. And we all looked at each other. Holy shit, that's like the hook. It was like a huge hook right there. So and it made the second verse different than the first one. You know what I'm saying? So you're kind of building these little. It's like you're building a little house, you know what I'm saying? Like you're adding the little things to make the house even better. So that's how I work when it comes to him. When he does these accents that I accent with him, it's just a thing that we've done forever.
That's awesome. One time in my life, I'd like to be in the studio for a fucking half hour, 45 minutes, just hearing a band, how they work through shit and how things come up, things that you hear, like, as a listener, when you hear things after it's been recorded on the radio. And I'm like a nerd and like I want to know how it was done and what they talked about. And then there's things that are organically happened by mistake,
Yeah. There's been some cool accidents.
Yeah.
Stuff that we didn't think was gonna happen. And it's happened a lot with our music. Like all of a sudden, like on the song Fix This, I was doing some edits at home and I came up with this little sound going, ow, ow. It was a bad edit. It was a bad edit that sounded cool. And BC, my guitar player at the time, said, "Dude, what did you do there?" I said, "Oh, I just cut and pasted this part." I said, "Dude, that's like a hook." So it was an accident right there. Like he had written the part, but it was overflowing to the next part. I was trying to edit, so I considered it a bad edit, but it sounded like a cool edit. Because he thought I did it on purpose, but I didn't. It was just an accident.
You should have told him, that's what I meant to do. I mean, that's design.
No, I'm not taking credit for that.
So talk to me about the cover of Phil Collins in the Air Tonight. So like you guys set out to do you guys killed it, obviously. So when you set out to do a cover, like your label's getting the artist permission, or talk us through that. Like what's the process?
Well, you can cover any song you want. It doesn't matter. The artist is going to get paid regardless, for their royalties. But when it came to doing that song, we were on the development tour, and our drum tech at the time had suggested, "Hey, you guys should do In the Air Tonight" by Phil Collins. And we're like, cool. And then when it came to do Recoil, we started messing around with it, and that's actually the 5th version of that cover.
Really?
Because we kept playing around and we didn't like anything. So my bass player took it home the next day. Bass player time Ken took it home. So then the next day he came with a dun 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 dun, and I'm like, holy shit. Okay, and I went and got the djembe, and I was like, there it is. And then it just started growing from there. So and my guitar player Andy at the time had this Evo, so he started doing this thing. It sounds like a violin.
Yeah.
And it just grew from there, And so we basically, the only part that we got from the original was the melody and the iconic that fill.
You got to leave that fill in somewhere.
Yeah, I got to leave the fill by fill, So yeah, but once we finished the song, we were like, holy crap! And still to this day, that song gets played at hockey stadiums, baseball stadiums. It was a Miami Dolphins walkout song. It was a Florida Panthers battle cry. So still to this day, that song gets a lot of love.
Would you say before the gig, or is it before the tour? Would it be more Elias's call? Like, all right, these are the songs we're playing tonight.
No, we actually all contribute to that. That's okay. When we have 10 records to choose, but when we have a new record, we try to concentrate on the newer music, we want to expose the newer music. But but come around when we get to start playing shows again, there's some deep cuts that are going to come out.
Nice.
We've been messing around with some deep cuts, and we forgot how good those songs were.
Yeah.
And I'm like, holy shit. And like Elias said, we're going to do ourselves a disservice to the brand if we don't bring these songs out. I said, dude, I've been saying that for a long time. We got to bring these songs out. There's some songs that people are going to be like, holy shit, I haven't heard this in like 15 years.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty excited, man, to pick out this new set list when we come out next year at some point.
But of course, you would always keep the staples. Like you're going to play In the Air Tonight. Like you're going to play
Yeah, In the Air Tonight has been skipped over a few tours, but I mean, there's some like your What a Day, Breaking Skin, Chaos and Earthquakes, Bullet with a Name. Those are the 4 main ones. And the song called That Day on our self-titled record, it gets a lot of love live too. It's got this huge hooky chorus. Yep. We might bring out some old ones that people have not heard in a while. So our set list may grow to 90 minutes. You never know. We'll see.
Arch was saying we had the pleasure to obviously open up for you guys at Parliament Ballroom. Maybe this was 2 years ago, Arch, right?
2018 we opened up for him.
Your set was energetic from note to the last. Even songs that had a lower tempo, like just the energy was like palpable. And your set felt like it was like legit 10 minutes long.
Really?
Yeah, man.
Did it feel short?
No. It did, because you're lost in the moment and it's going and the energy is like so up and there. It's like it felt like it was over before it started. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? And I'm like, it just every song, like it was just like killing it.
Well, for us, you know, like we have this saying, you know, that people come to see your band, they're paying money to see. If you're just gonna stand around and watch you, it's like almost watching a band rehearse live.
Yeah.
You know, like we wanna. It's like we always say to bands, if you don't, people ask me advice all the time, and I say, hey, if you don't walk out in pain and sweaty and tired, you have not done your job. You know, so I'm 50 years old, man, right now. So who knows if I'm going to need an ambulance and a stretcher now for next year.
You look great, bro.
Yeah, God bless you.
Thank you very much. But, you know, I put 110%. And as we say, when I'm playing, it's 100% live, 100% of the time. And we try, you know, we emulate these bands that inspired us, like bands like Snot and Stuck Mojo and Seven Dust, who threw down every single night, you know, and so once we saw those bands, we're like, you know what, this is what we got to do. So like for us, like in any member that's joined in this band, when I talked to them, I said, do you move live? Do you move? Are you going to jump? Are you going to cross the stage? Are you going to bang your head? Are you going to get nuts up there? And I said, I don't even care how good you are. Do you move? You know, that's the main question. Like we have to have that energy. And right now, we've been lucky. Every member that's been in this band has been able to throw it down.
Yeah.
You know, so, and even the 5 guys we got now are just insane. Rashid is probably one of the most insane performers I've ever played with. His stage moves are insane. You know, like, and Elias, you know, how he commands the audience. Adam and our new guitar player, Jason, they're completely insane. And me, I mean, I try to give it all I can. You know, at 50, we'll see what happens, what I can do, because I'm playing, you know, we did a rehearsal a couple years back, and I'm like, man, 48-year-old me is trying to play 27-year-old me. Yeah. You know, but you know, dude, I do it. And no matter how much pain I'm in, I'll do it. I'll play as hard as I possibly can. So when people walk away, it's like, man, that was one of the best shows I've ever seen. You know, that we want people to walk away like satisfied, they got their money's worth. Because, man, I've seen some bands, dude, that I just like, I'd be like, I'd rather watch paint dry. You know, like you know, they just, I don't know, man. I have to see a band move. They have to move me. You know, they have to be energetic as their music, you know, so. Yeah. So we're going to keep doing what we do, you know.
Well, I'll tell you, and Archie had said when we played with you at Starland, we're loading our shit in, and you guys were sound checking. Your sound check is more intense, it seems like, than band's fucking real show. And it was like, wow, this is sound checking. This look what they're doing.
Well, I mean, we also had an incredible sound guy on that tour, man. Dustin Taberski made a sound. He's a drummer, so he made my drum sound so insane. And he definitely has a pulse, you know, like he's got his head in the game on how, you know, a metal and rock band should sound. So I got to give him a lot of credit too. And all our guys, you know, we have found the correct tones and to make our music sound the best it can, you know, find the best equipment that we can, you know, try to get the best techs that we can. Our crew also is a big help in making our stuff, you know, still sound good, keeping everything in order, nothing broken, to make sure we can put on that show, you know. So it's not only just the band, it's also the crew that has been able to help us, you know, to make sure that, you know, when we go out there, that everything's in working order so we can give that kind of show.
Nice. I've been wondering, how do you see Non-Point's progression as a band musically from like your initial release Separate to like where we are now?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've gotten brand new influences on the way, you know, during the time, you know, but we keep to the core of what we do. You know, it's basically my drumming and Elias's vocals. Like whatever music that we play, it's still my drumming and Elias's vocals. I keep my same style. I haven't really changed much. I try to keep things simple. I try to play for the song.
Yeah.
But a lot of the song identifies with his vocals. You know, like when you hear the band and hear him, you know, oh, that's Non-Point.
Yeah.
You know, so, but musically, I think we've definitely developed a lot. I mean, all of our releases, definitely, most of them don't even sound the same. You know, like we've had a lot of different kinds of stuff that we put out. You know, obviously our forte is the heavy, energetic stuff, you know, that we do. But we've done a lot of melodic moments because Elias has an incredible voice. He's got such a versatile singing style that it just needs to be showcased. He can't just be screaming up there all the time, you know, like he needs to showcase everything. So yeah, I think we've developed a lot of different new styles from our initial thing. And from us, it's always been an anything goes situation. You know, we don't say no to anything. We try everything that we can, but we're always going to go back to that heavy groove, you know, style that we're basically known for.
I can't tell you how much Non-Point has definitely influenced us too. So like, because it's not just a metal rock band. There's so much groove to you guys. So much groove. So,
oh, thanks, man.
Yeah, bro.
I try to keep as simple as I can, where I can see heads bobbing. You know, that's my thing. I want to see the heads bobbing.
Just make people move, bro.
I want the girls dancing and the guys bobbing their heads.
On each and every album that like a record company wants you to put out, there's always, you know, a need for a single, obviously. And
yeah.
I think Non-Point did that great with each album you put out. Did you guys know all your singles would do as well as they did when they were being written, such as like, you know, What a Day and Breaking Skin? And
well, honestly, I never have once put an expectation on a single. You know, like I feel like, okay, this sounds like the single, but we just write what we want to write. You know what I'm saying? We never write a certain song to be a single. You know, like it just, you know, it comes down to the record company and us, and we talk about it and decide. And we pretty much, most of the time, we've been on the same page. Like, honestly, I didn't think Bullet would be one of the songs that would be the one that we close every show with. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I didn't think Breaking Skin was going to be as big as it was. And then I see these people singing it, I'm like, God damn, like, I didn't think about it when we were writing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's always that initial scare and fear, like, oh, how are people going to perceive this? How are they going to react to this?
Exactly.
So, but, you know, our fans have been so cool over the years, you know, like but the thing is, not only the singles are the ones getting sung, it's songs, the deep cuts too, that people sing, you know, so that makes me feel like we've done our job in presenting our music the best way we can, you know, and not try to make every song sound the same, try to bring different feels into the stuff. But, I mean, the singles, I've been proud of every single we've put out, you know, so, and we could actually do a tour of just singles, you know what I'm saying, if we really wanted to, because we've had at least 15, you know, since then, you know, so from the 10 records, we could definitely do a tour of the singles.
So let me ask you this. You found 97, correct?
Yes. 97.
When and what was the first big break you guys got? Maybe it was a cool tour. Maybe it was like, hey, you're going to open up for this band. What was the first time when you're like, hey, we're going to do this?
Ozfest 2001.
Nice.
When we got that phone call, it said, oh, you were the first band chosen on the Streetwise stage. I'm like, holy shit. That was the biggest tour of our lives. And it totally, we're doing like 7,000 to 10,000 records a week or something like that. Something around that number. When people bought CDs back then. But then when we got the phone call, we're going out with Flyleaf, Disturbed, and Stone Sour. It's like, that was a huge tour. Fuel and Seven Dust, we were doing arenas, huge tour. But when we got that Ozfest one, after me going to like 4 Ozfest the year before, to actually be playing, I said, man, I hope one day we play this festival. And then we got that phone call in January of 2001. Said, hey, you're going to go on the Ozfest. I was like, holy shit, I couldn't believe it. I was in tears because like one of my dreams came true. Wow. And I got to see fucking Black Sabbath every fucking night. Yeah. It was one of the bands that influenced me to play music. You know, I got to witness from the first row on Tony Iommi's side. I'm just looking at my guitar player. I'm like, that's fucking Tony Iommi, dude. It's like I'm later looking at one of my heroes, you know, like this. So it was amazing. I mean, and it was a killer tour. I had Slipknot, Marilyn Manson, Linkin Park, Papa Roach. Like, all those bands were huge. Yeah, they were doing huge numbers, man. It was killer. Disturbed. And they had tons of bands on the second stage. And Mudvayne. Black Label Society, and that's some of the best times of my life. Like I used to eat lunch with this guy every day for 2 weeks. Didn't know who he was, and it turned out to be Corey Taylor. And I had no idea because nobody knew what they looked like because they had the mask on at that time. Like nobody really knew what they looked like.
Holy shit.
So until he finally told me, I said, holy shit, we talked every day about music and still a really, really good friend of the band, really super cool. We dropped some new music. But yeah, that tour was the one that was like, I could not believe it was going to happen. It's like, holy shit, we're on the biggest tour of the world right now that we're going to be doing. And we went that first day. And the cool thing about it is we knew like 80% of the bands already because we already either played shows, we had met them at a show. So it's really cool going in there without, being all blind and trying to meet everybody and, try to befriend everyone. But it was a cool tour, man. I had a great time.
So that's not that bad, man. You figure 97 starting out, you're on Ozfest in 2001.
Yeah, like I said, man,
That's
everything
not bad at all.
I can't complain. I am blessed.
Yeah.
And so lucky to still be doing this, man.
Well, here's a fun question for you. I think touring in the 80s, right, has like that big tail time and time again of Blow, Sleepless Nights, Jack Daniels, Hairspray, Crazy Women.
Yeah.
I'm not just talking about your sister, Rock. Forget it.
Oh, thank you.
All right. How would you describe being in a hard rock band, touring in the 90s and like the early 2000s? And what would you think like the coolest mishaps on tour and the biggest misconceptions are?
Well, when I started touring, I will not speak of anything. I had my fun back in the day, and it was definitely not the 80s.
Yeah.
The 80s was crazy.
Motley Crue shit.
Yeah, but in the 90s, in the 2000s, I've seen a lot of crazy stuff.
Yeah.
And I didn't participate in a lot of it, but I saw it. And like I said, we'll keep that. I'll have no comment on that. But I will say that most of the things that happened in the 80s happened in the 90s and 2000s.
Gotcha.
So I was like, okay, everything that I read about is actually true.
Oh.
But nowadays, none of that happens. Like all we want is peace and quiet.
Yeah.
I'm an old man. I just want to watch my Netflix show or, be on YouTube or just like when we're done with the show, I'm the first one in bed, dude. And that's how I live my life now.
Right. Right before the Misfits, the original Misfits got back together.
Yeah.
These shows. My wife and I went backstage to see the Misfits, what Jerry was singing. I don't know if you're familiar with him or whatever.
Jerry Only?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So at Nokia Theater, New York, we go backstage and I'm like, bro, I'm like, honey, we're backstage. Check this out. Here we go. There was a weight bench. There was protein powder. There was fucking nobody. There was no alcohol.
Yeah. There's a lot of bands that used to party back in the day. They've changed. A lot of people work out because you got to stay healthy, man. Unfortunately, we've had some musicians pass away. And you have to stay healthy these days. Like, man, dude, I was diagnosed with diabetes like 5 years ago.
Oh wow. And
I reversed it. I actually did a lifestyle change, and I was able to reverse it. I lost like 50 pounds. And I was able to, I did basically start eating different, in a different diet. Now I'm a little bit more, I'll do some cheating on the diet every now and then, so that, you go to a non-point backstage, you ain't gonna see nothing back there. You won't even see us backstage. You'll probably see us, most of us just hang on the bus, man, depends on who we're touring with. We'll go and do a hangout thing. We'll talk to other people. Like when we did the tour with Hell Yeah, that was fun. We did 2 tours with Hell Yeah last year. That was fun every night, but no crazy parties. We didn't really do anything weird, but we got to hang out with everybody. But just we basically reminisce. Because we've known those guys for like 20 years. Chad, we've known Chad and Mudvig for a long time. So we've always been, talk about memories past, all the crazy things from back in the day. But now it's just, we go out there and play the show and try not to break any bones, man.
So talk us and the listeners through what a regular day is. You're on tour, right? So you play a show, the bus leaves, you're on to the next town. Talk us through. I mean, because you live for the 1 hour you're on stage, but all the other bullshit that you go through, 23 hours a day. What is it?
Well, I mean, I'm usually the first one up, and I'll try to get a cup of coffee in me. And I do decaf these days. I don't do caffeine anymore. So that's how old I'm getting. So basically, the first order of business is where you're going to take that first poop. Because you're in a different place every day. You usually park at a Walmart parking lot. Most of them are usually open 24 hours. So we go there, and basically, honestly, I get me, make sure I get to the bathroom, you brush your teeth and your thing, and then I always try to get a good breakfast in the morning. I gotta have the breakfast. I'll usually skip lunch on tour. So basically, I'll do breakfast, and then I'll do an early dinner around 3 to 4, and then I don't eat again till the end of the night. So after the show, I'll have like a small snack or something. But usually, I mean, we do the sound check. If we have a VIP, do the VIP just till showtime. And then we have an hour before show, we call it power hour. Everybody on the bus, they have to leave. And we start playing music, start to get ready. Then I go inside the venue. I do the pre-show poop. and then I'm the one that's in the dressing room before we go on stage, and just I meditate. I try to think about the show. I try to think, okay, I'm going to try maybe this here, like on songs. I usually get up and walk around, and I try to find where I try to look out, see who the bands are playing before us, try to check out the set and check out the crowd interaction. We said, okay, we may have to do some more work or less. We're pretty fired up. They're not fired up. So we go out there with the same plan. It's just destroy. It's basically destroy from note 1 to last night. And then after show, we clean up, we go to the merch table, do a little signing, take pictures with fans, and then when if we're headlining, we'll do that. If we're playing before the headliner, we'll get out there quick, do signing, and then once the band starts, the headline band starts, we leave, so we don't take away from them. Yeah. And we go back to the bus and chill, and we go check out the show, and and depending on the night, if I feel like hanging out, I will. But most of the time, I just go back on the bus. I watch TV. I just chill. I just like relax. I don't want to hear any music. I don't want to hear anything. I'll try to put like a comedy on or something funny to laugh. I don't want to hear no metal after I play. I try to watch like some old Martin reruns or anything. We'll put on Friday or something like that because everybody in the band can watch that, or Rush Hour, stuff like that. And so we just just chill. We relax. We don't. Everybody just sits back and let the bones heal. So that's pretty much our day, man. It's no craziness. It's not like, we have a massive plan. But if we have friends in town, we'll hang out. Like we go to the dressing room and hang out, or we bring them on the bus. It depends, who it is and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, a typical day is really an easygoing day. It's never changed actually throughout the years. So it's, like I said, get up, do your sound check, do your VIP, and then prepare for the show. That's pretty much what it is.
Sounds like a nice, healthy way to live. That's good.
Yeah, I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining.
Rob.
Yeah, I'm not complaining. I don't drink. I don't drink any alcohol. I don't really party. So I used to be able to drink at 30, but a hangover at 50 is not fun. It's not fun. It's not fun at all. And then we try to stay healthy. We each, keep sanitizer on the bus so nobody gets sick. Everybody tries to stay as healthy as possible.
So I know we only got a couple more minutes with you because I know you're jumping on some Wi-Fi somewhere else, not home. A couple things I want to get out. One is, first off, I love the Frontlines Tribute that you guys just put out.
Yeah, thank you.
I heard the song, but then I just watched the video today. That was really moving.
Thank you very much.
Before because I want to get to your podcast real quick and stuff, but could you just give us a little run through with Remember Me, how that came about?
Well, that song originally appeared on a miracle called Frontlines, and that was dedicated to all the military personnel out there. And then when we started, we had some plans that was derailed by COVID, unfortunately. So we said, we got to find some things to do here. To put out a quarantine version of Alive and Kickin' first. And then we did the Frontlines thing. And so we said, we're going to dedicate this to all the essential workers and our frontline workers out there dealing with helping all these people, that putting their lives on the line and make sure that these people get better who have unfortunately gotten this COVID disease. So we went to the original recording, and then Elias said, well, let's rewrite the lyrics. We'll keep the chorus, but let's rewrite the lyrics. So we actually said, let's just rewrite the whole damn song.
Yeah.
So we just rewrote, we took the vocal melody, and my engineer, Robb played all the piano, played all the timpani, and he put all the, yes, I'm getting the warning.
Yeah.
So he put all of it together, and he sent it to me. Then I put the drums down, and when Elias sent the vocals, I went into fucking tears when he sent the vocals, because I heard the lyrics, and I was like, holy shit, I can't believe it. He wrote these. It was amazing.
I know.
But yeah, they're kicking me out of here out of Starbucks. But yeah, that's how it came together, man. And if anybody wants to watch it, man, share it on YouTube. If you know an essential worker or nurse, anybody, doctor, share it to their page. So. But yeah, that's how it came about.
All right. So 1 second before you go, tell everybody Robcast podcast.
Yes.
Everybody check that out. Tell them where you can check that out. Is it everywhere? Are we streaming?
Yeah, you can get on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play. On social media, it's on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook at Robcast Podcast. If you have any questions or feedback, robcastpodcast@gmail.com. I do that with my friend Rob Rusha, who is our engineer. So I do it at his studio. And it's been great, man. I've had some incredible guests like Phil Demo, Machine Head, Dave Ellison. I've had Jessica Soto, Rob Flynn. I'm starting, we kind of slowed down a little bit because, COVID and stuff like that. So we're going to be having some new guests here soon. I'm trying to get some people lined up. And yeah, just going to keep doing it. It's been great.
Dude, I can't thank you enough. You're definitely an inspiration for drummers out there.
Thank you.
And it means a lot to Rocco and myself.
100%.
Appreciate that.
Thank you so much for your time, and hopefully we may run into you in New Jersey or New York sometime.
Definitely. You take care, and thank you for having me on the show, man. Appreciate it. All right, take care. Later, bro.
Later.
Bye.
Again, sorry for the audio technical difficulties. Rob was at a Starbucks. My mic was jacked up, and, well, Rocky just fucks up all the time, so you can't hear him. Probably better off that way. But you guys got the gist. You got that interview. It was awesome. Rob is such a cool dude. I can't wait to do that again with him. His band Nonpoint, dope as fuck. Please check them out. Check out Robcast Podcast, his podcast, and also check out Rob's YouTube page, Rob Rivera. Search him on YouTube, all his drum covers. And with that being said, Rocco, what the do you have to say to the people?
If you're eating a calzone and you're on the phone with Post Malone and you're home alone, then why aren't you listening to Not These Two Fucking Guys podcast?